guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the U.S. Well, I'm back with another one of my 12 weeks of fall and Halloween. This is week number 7. Can't believe we're over halfway there. This one is, as you can see, is a fall card, and it's a fun fold card. So when I do cards for my 12 weeks of fall and Halloween, I make sure it's at least a fun fold card. So I hope you enjoy this one, and if you'd like to stamp along with me, just click on that blog post link below in the video description, and you can, when you go to the blog post, you'll find the supply list, and you'll also find all the dimensions for this card, and you can come back and make the card with me. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first off, I want to show you the stamp set that goes along with this. I'm using the Delivering Cheer stamp set, and it's in the July to December mini catalog from Stampin' Up. And the stamps I'll be using is this one here, this one right here, so these two here, and the little ground one right here, and that's it for the stamp set. I'm also using In Your Word stamp set. This is a Celebration stamp set. It is a host set, so if you do at least a $300 order, personal order, or get some of your friends to come in on an order, just as long as it equals $300 before shipping and tax, you can choose this as one of your Stampin' rewards. You'll have to make sure you put the number 156619 in there, and then put it in your Stampin' rewards, and that'll come up as 0. So you'll get this one absolutely free, in addition to everything that you get from the Stampin' rewards. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I forgot to tell you which stamps. We're using the Happy Birthday and the Hope Your Day is Fantabulous. Fabulous and fantastic all in one. So that's one you're going to use there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the Simply Scored scoring tool out. Let me put this here so you can see it. There's only a little bit of scoring. This is a 4-inch by 11-inch piece of soft succulent cardstock. So we're going to put this in here with an 11-inch side along the top. We're going to score this at 3 inches. And you want to make sure that it's all up here in the corner and the top and laying flat. So it's 3 inches. Holding the scoring tool at an angle makes it a lot easier. And 8 1/4. So that's 3 inches and 8 1/4 inches. Okay, we're all done with this, so I'll put this away. Okay, we'll bring this piece back in. I'm going to turn this up so the valleys are facing down, the hills are facing up. That makes it fold a lot easier. We're going to do this here. So one end is a little wider than the other. So this is the end that's wider, so that's the one that's going to be on top. Okay, so I'm going to grab 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. This is from the Harvest Meadow DSP, also in the July to December mini catalog. So this is the larger piece. It's going to go on top. This is a 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and the one that goes on the bottom is a 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. And don't forget, I've got all of these sizes on my blog post link below in the video description. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on top with my seal. Get that going. Put some across these narrow ends and a couple little things here. And then this is just going to go right on the top. Now I think it's easier to put the DSP on once it's folded, because that way you know that you're not going to put this on upside down. If we had laid this flat, this goes upside down. It's just easier to fold it, figure out how it's going to look, and then you put your Designer Series paper on. Same with this. This has some words on it, so I don't want those to be upside down. It's one of the few times I go ahead and have it folded. A lot of times I'll put stuff on before I fold it. This one, I think it's easier to fold it first. So let's look at this. Okay, that looks like it's right side up, so we're going to go ahead and put this in the center. Okay, so now we've got that ready to go. Grab a piece of crumb cake cardstock. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2-inch piece. And we're going to attach this to the center of this. So I'm going to make sure I've got some on the corners. And this time I'm probably going to put a little more on than I normally do, but definitely make sure those corners are done. Do some here, and I'm going to do one here in the center too. That way I know it's going to stay on. So go ahead and put this right in the center, like so. And now we've got the base done of the card. So let's go ahead and get some stamping done now. Okay, now I've taken out a piece of basic white cardstock. This is 2 by 4 1/4. And I want to take these 2 stamps that are going to stamp my lady that's holding the fall flowers. And I'm going to stamp them with Early Espresso. I'm going to start with the bottom one first. You can start with whichever one you want, but I think it's easier to do the bottom first. And I'm going to have it up just a little bit because I'm going to put some ground cover on that. So get that right there in the center. There we go. And then I'm going to ink this one up with the Early Espresso. And line this up. You just put the arms right above where the top of the skirt is. And center it. Hold it down for a few seconds. There we go. Doesn't that go together nice and easy? I love that. It might be off just a little bit here, but nobody's going to know the difference. Okay, that looks really good. So now we're going to do some coloring. Okay, get this Early Espresso out of here so it doesn't get dried up. And I'm going to color with some Stampin' blends. So let's go ahead and grab Soft Succulent first. This is what I decided to do her coat in. So I'm taking my dark one first. And wherever I think there should be a little bit of shadow, that's where I'm going to do the dark Soft Succulent. And I'm making it so it's jagged. I don't want it to be straight, so you can kind of see how it's not a straight line at the ends of these. And there's probably a little bit underneath her scarf too. So we'll put a little bit right there. And I'm thinking wherever the creases are, so I'm going to do kind of a scribble line here, because there should be a little bit of dark there, the creases too. Okay, and then we've got the paper bag around the flowers. There's probably a shadow there. So let's put a little bit there on her arms. And then there's another piece right here hanging over from the bag, so I'll put a little bit there. So I think that's all the dark we need right now. So let's go ahead and grab the light Soft Succulent. And I'm going to color these in, going over the dark areas. That way they'll blend together. And then when I get this all covered up, I'm going to look at it and see if I need to do some more blending and go over with the light succulent. So this is what I'm going to do. As I finish up her arm, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm kind of bringing the colors down, blending the dark, and kind of bringing it down. That way they blend a little better. Now some of these need to be blended a little more, so I'm going to go over them a little bit. And I'm really just going over where the dark and the light meet now, just to get that a little better, because that kind of almost gives it a three-tone effect when I don't cover up the whole thing again with the light. So that is all the light Soft Succulent we're going to need. I did forget. I decided to go ahead and have her little sleeve here just be the dark. I thought having a little darker green there would be just fine for the colors. And the colors I've picked out for this are all the colors that are in the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper, just in case you're wondering. Okay, now I'm going to take Crumb Cake, and I'm going to start with my dark again. And that's what I'm going to do the bag that's around her flowers. So we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of dark here, maybe a little bit where the flowers are. Not a lot, just a little bit. And I think this is probably a little darker, just any place where I think it should be a little darker. That looks like it's folded underneath, and maybe a little bit right there. And let's go ahead and do probably the rest with the light. And I'm going to do the same as I did with the Soft Succulent. I'm going to pull some of the colors, dark color up, and get them to where they're blended and color everything else in. Okay, before I get going, when I started making this, I was trying to figure out what this stuff back here is. I think that's the bag. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to say bag, probably like craft paper that's wrapped around it. So I'm going to make a little brown here, because these flowers are, you can kind of see around them, so there would definitely be some more of that bag there in the background. So it didn't quite look like leaves. So I thought, oh, that must be the bag. So I'm just using the light Crumb Cake there. And now we're going to start coloring the flowers in. Oh, let's go up and do her mittens. I'm going to grab the Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to have her mittens and her scarf be Misty Moonlight. So once again, this is kind of under the bag, so I'll make this be the dark. And maybe a little bit where her sleeves are, just the very edges. Actually, that bottom one I'm just going to make be the dark. And then just a little bit at the top of her scarf. Okay. Then we're going to grab the light Misty Moonlight and color the rest of her mittens in. She is so stylish. And I'm going to put a little bit down here at the fringe, so we don't have any white showing. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Now we're going to color in the flowers, and I'm just using Calypso Coral. I'm going to start with my dark. I'm not going to be doing any blending this time. I thought, okay, we're going to have some of these flowers, and I'm just scribbling. I'm not getting right in the lines because I know it doesn't need to be that way. So I'm going to make that one dark. I think I'm going to make this one dark too. Just looks neat to give them a little color. And let's try this one with a dark Calypso coral. And this one, we are almost done coloring. And then this one right here. Let's see, is there anything else I did dark? Yeah, I did these dark. And the rest of them, I'm going to color in with my light Calypso coral. It's almost like a pinkish coral color with the light one. So now we've got, I've just used the colors in the paper and added a little Calypso, which is also one of the colors in the whole paper pack. There we go. So I thought that looked pretty good. Now, one thing, she does have bare legs. Now, this is a fall card, so I'm not going to make that be stockings. It's not quite cold enough to do that. So I've got the ivory Stampin' Blend. I'm going to color her legs in. And what I'm going to do, there is only one Stampin' Blend for the ivory. So what I'm going to do, just to get a little shadow going here, it dries pretty quick. So once it's dried there with the first layer, then I just put a little second layer on top, and that gives me a little shadow. Hopefully you can see that in the video. I'll pop this up a little bit. You can see how there's a little bit of shadow there. She is so much fun to color. I love that. Okay, let's go ahead, and we've got one more thing to, well, we've got a couple more things we need to stamp. Let's go ahead and grab the inside of the card. This is 3 3/4 by 5, and I decided to put the top of her on the corner and just part of it, not the whole thing. I just thought this made a nice little image for it. So I'm going to make sure that there's no white in this corner, so it's right there. So that's all I'm going to put of her. Now we could just keep it the brown if we wanted to, but since there's not a lot to color, I went ahead and colored it in real quick. So we'll grab the soft succulent again, wherever I think it needs to be dark. So we're just doing her sleeves this time. And this time I'm going to remember to do the little inside thing here. Okay, grab the light succulent, get that all colored in. Like I said, if you don't want to color the inside in, you're fine just keeping it the brown. But I had fun coloring in, so I thought I'd go ahead and do it. Now, there's not a lot of her mittens showing, so I'm not going to worry about doing any blending. I'm just grabbing the light, Misty Moonlight, and coloring her mittens in real quick. Then we're going to do the bag, grab the dark crumb cake. And when you're coloring, I would put your ivory, I've got mine lined out here. My ivory is totally away from the crumb cake. Sometimes it's hard to tell which is crumb cake and which is the ivory. So that's how I am making sure I don't make a boo-boo. I've got them on opposite ends of my line of blends. Color this in, get those dark colors blended together. Pull that away. That bottom part there is really, see how it's starting to blend now that I'm putting more and more on it? I have so much fun with our blends. Okay, now I'm just going to do the light on the back. I kind of like not putting any of the dark on the back part, so that way the flowers definitely show. Okay, that looks pretty good. Grab the dark Calypso. You can color it just like you did the front. If you want to change it up, go right ahead. Just to save time, I'm probably going to keep mine about the same. Let's see, this one needs to be dark. And, oh, I'm not even looking up at my card. We'll just see how that looks. Now I'll do my light on these. Let's do some light on here. Some light there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's not just like my front, but that's okay. It didn't have to be. Okay, now one more thing we want to stamp on the inside. I'm using the Hope Your Day is Fantabulous, Fabulous, and Fantastic all in one. I'm going to use my Early Espresso ink pad, and I'm going to stamp it the top center of this piece. Stand up so I can see what I'm doing here. Put it right here in this top center. And then this is going to get attached to the inside of the card. You can believe it, we are almost done with this card. So let's go ahead. Oops. Throwing stuff around. Sorry for the big clank. Okay, so we've got this. Open this up. But doesn't that look really neat, just having that little bit of her in the bottom corner? I just thought that looked really neat. I was happy with how that turned out. Okay, so the bottom gets folded up first, and then this one gets folded down. Let's go ahead and grab, let's see, we'll grab a piece of Calypso Coral. This is 2 1/8 by 4 3/8. I just wanted a real narrow border for this. That's why I've got the different kind of size. Grab my, let's see, get this going again. Got the seal, put this across. Some here on the long side. I'll put this right in the center. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, when we put this on, we do not want this bottom part to be attached, okay? So I'm going to go a little bit above the center. I say this is probably around the center, just right above that. If I can get my adhesive going again, there we go. Get that across there. I'm going to go ahead and put some right across here. So I've got a little rectangle of my adhesive there so it doesn't fall off. I might even put a little bit right there. I'm going to lay this down right here in the left center. And before I push it down too hard, I'm going to bring this up. And yep, no adhesive, so I'm going to press it down the rest of the way. Okay, we got one more finishing touch to do. I'm going to grab scraps of basic white and crumb cake. And I'm using the double oval punch. This is in the annual catalog. Let me get that in the light so you can see it better. There we go. Got to get the lighting just right so you can see what the punch looks like. Now I'm going to do, out of my scrap, do the scallop oval. Put that right there. And then I'm going to grab the Happy Birthday stamp. Oh, I forgot one thing. Let's try and do this real quick, because it looks kind of bland right there. We've got this wonderful stamp right here. I'm going to use my crumb cake. And it's okay, we can do this now, because I'm staying on the white. I'm not going to go off of it. There we go. So we've got a little ground right there. And I even took my, let's see, that's my dark one. I want my light crumb cake. And just kind of color that in down there just a little bit, just scribble it. There we go. So now we've got our ground. Does not make it look a lot better. They're just adding that little bit. It just didn't look quite right without that. So that's a nice little stamp. Okay, now we're going to grab, oh, I don't know why I closed that up. We need the crumb cake. And we're going to use the Happy Birthday stamp that's in that, let's see, In Your Words stamp set, the celebration one I showed at the beginning. Let's grab my Pierce mat again. I'm going to stamp this right here. I had first tried the early espresso and I thought it was just too dark. It looked a lot better with the crumb cake. Then I'm going to put this all the way down here. I'm going to face it to me just so I can get it lined up, and then I'll show you before I punch. So we've got the Happy Birthday in there. Punch that out. We're going to put some seal right across this oval. This one strip is probably good enough. And get this right in the center of our oval, a scallop oval that is. Now I just didn't do that very well. Nice thing about seal, we can pop it up the first 10 minutes. Put it just down a little too far. Let me stand up so I can see what I'm doing a little better. That's better. Okay, so we've got that on there. I want this to be down here, but since this gets lifted up, see, we don't want a lot on here, and I wanted it popped up a little bit. Now, my first card, I put one regular size dimensional right here. I'm going to try something different. I use the black just because this is crumb cake. I thought it looked a little better. I'm just to stabilize it a little more. I'm going to put a couple. Actually, I think I'm going to do three of the mini ones. That's going to make it a little wider, and it's going to probably hold it on a little better. It's holding it fine on mine, but I think this is going to stabilize it a lot better. So we'll get those backings off. I'm going to put this on. And I made sure they were far over because I don't want to cover her up at all. So I think I've got it straight. Let me turn it to me. Yep. There we go. See how none of my dimensionals are on the back. Let me bring that down so you can see it. So that is it. So you can do, if you want to make a card, but you want to be kind of a little bit fancy, have a different kind of fold, this one is so easy to do and doesn't take long to do at all. And I don't have a name for this one either. If anybody thinks of one, please comment below. There's always fun folds I find, and sometimes they don't have names to them, and I can't think of one. So, but it's a real good one. guess you can say over flap or 2 flaps or whatever. But I hope you enjoyed this card, and I'll be back again next week at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern Time, with week number 7 of the 12 Weeks of Fall and Halloween. And I'll probably do a Halloween one next week. I'm not positive. We'll see about that. I think it probably will be a Halloween. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I am planning on doing videos throughout the week. This week went crazy again. Family stuff happened. So I'm going to hopefully have some other videos up during the week. And if you don't want to miss any of those, and you want to stamp along with me with those, just click that subscribe button link below, and then click on that bell icon that pops up and select all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I do a video. And if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. Here are the catalogs that are going on right now. We've got the annual catalog and the mini July to December mini catalog. And this one is just about to be over. As I'm recording this is September 17th. So we've only got till September 30th of 2021 to get your free stuff. And that includes the In Your Words stamp set. So if you do a $300 order, you can pick this out for your one of your Stampin' Rewards, and it'll be free. And you'll also get at least $36 in Stampin' Rewards with a $300 order. So if you have any questions, just click that contact me link below in the video description, and I'll get back with you right away. And also while you're there, like I said, if you live in the United States, I would love to send your first set of copies of catalogs to you for free. And just go ahead and click that contact me link below there and leave your mailing address for me. I'll get it mailed out to you right away. So let's see the card one more time. Hope to see you in the next video, and I hope you have a great night, guys. See you later. Bye.